Hello everyone, welcome back to the Canadian Edge. On this episode we are going to look at part one of knife maintenance. We'll take a look at all the different things that I use to keep my knives in shape and sharp and clean and working properly. And you might use different things, but these are the things that I use. So first off, one of the things that I use is Benchmade's cleaner, and that's just to take different dirt and things off of your knife. And it just helps to keep the blade clean and keep your scales clean. And you can just use that with a soft cloth and put that on and clean your knives up. So that's, you don't have to use the Benchmade. Benchmade has a whole little kit for knife maintenance, and so that's what I got is that kit. So that's the cleaner. And I also use the Benchmade Blue lubricant in the pivots to get the blades working properly, and some of the locking systems I use that as well to get those sliding properly. And so that's just a lubricant that also comes with it. You can use different lubricants. I find that using oil sometimes just doesn't necessarily work. It sometimes doesn't stick, where these lubes are designed specifically for knives. So another thing I have in the tool kit is a dust blaster. This one's compressed gas. You can get compressed gas or compressed air. I use that to blow out all the dust and the pocket particles that have built up in my in between the scales and that, and around the pivot and whatnot, especially in my folding knives. So that's a handy thing to have, and you can pick those up fairly cheap. Get that out of the way. And another tool I have is the Benchmade multi-bits. So these will fit most of the screws on the pivots. Well, they'll fit the Benchmade ones for sure. And I found they worked on a few other knives, and I just have a little screwdriver that I had kicking around that I use to do that. Put those in. I also have a larger kit that I picked up. If you're Canadian, picked it up at Canadian Tire, and it's got a whole variety of bits in it. And I also have this that I picked up at a garage sale, and it's got a variety of different bits that have worked for maintenance on my knives. So it's good to have screwdrivers, and like I say, Benchmade does a kit where you can get these, and I picked them up each individually. They're about 20 bucks each, but they're a good addition to the kit, and they'll last for a long time. Another thing that you should have if you are collecting knives and maintaining knives is sharpening stones. So I have a few different sharpening stones. I have just a regular stone, and it has a coarse and a fine side to it, and use those to sharpen knives. I have this Arkansas Perfect. It's a little kit, and it comes with, you can do angles and stuff like that. I find it doesn't work very well that way. I use it just the stone, and so it has the coarse, medium, and fine as well as a stone for sharpening fish hooks, and that if you need to sharpen fish hooks. And I forgot to grab my other, I do have another sharpening. I have Gerber makes a little package you can carry with you if you're out hiking and camping. They also have, it's a coarse, medium, and fine stone as well. I'm just going to grab my one other tool. I will be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Had to go find it. Was in with some of my other tools. There's this little guy here that you can fit in. You can use this to sharpen serrated edges. You can see that it is tapered. And so if you trust yourself, you can use this to sharpen serrated edges. It's also something you can use to sharpen fish hooks and that with, as well as your regular blade. And that just slides in there. Put it to the length you want and then just screw it tight, and it's good to go. And it's got the little pocket clip on it, little aluminum case. And you can use that to sharpen as well. So make sure you've got good sharpening stone. I suggest having a good whetstone that you can use. They're very handy things, and so you will appreciate that. And also with the stones, some stones use water, some use honing oil. So you want to make sure that you have some honing oil available to use with your stones. If you're not sure when you purchase your stone, just ask in the knife shop or wherever you get it, and they'll be able to tell you if you use water or oil on those. And one of the last things I have for knife maintenance is just a microfiber cloth used to wipe down the knives, wipe your fingerprints and that off. It's good to get the oils from your hands. Some people don't have a real problem with it. I have oily hands, so I leave traces of oil on my knives, and so I like to use cloth to wipe them down if I'm not using them. And some of you, if you've seen the review I did on the mini Reptilian, I was telling you how I needed to clean it because it wasn't opening and closing very well, and now you can see I did a bit of a clean on it. I should have filmed it, and oiled up the pivot, and now the blade drops, just pulling down on the axis lock. So yes, these kits do come in handy, and you maybe don't need all this stuff, but start out with a good stone, and if you have lots of folding knives, get yourself some lubricant to use. You'll appreciate having that. And so yeah, that's what I use to maintain my knives. And so we'll do another video where I actually do some maintenance on some knives and show you how I do it. It's not necessarily the right way, but it's how I do it, and I get results from it. So thank you for joining me today on this, and if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Hit like and subscribe, and until then, stay safe and stay sharp.